Well, this was given to me, handmade from a Native American flute maker. Sorry, it's been a long time since I got this, probably in 99. The old AOL 1998. I connected with the Chumash people through the internet, ironically, and I'm not Native American at all. In fact, I'd never met any Native Americans, believe it or not, living in Canada. They were tucked away, but I was always curious why. Where are they? In any case, I did connect, and there's a long story behind that, but today's not about that. Today is about, I want to set you guys in a place where you can reconnect to your roots. What's going on with the powers that be that love to keep you asleep? And most people probably watching me now, and watching the people who have these kind of skills, whether psychic or shamanic or starseed children, indigo people who are teaching, we're all trying to gather steam here because there's a battle. There's been a battle, a spiritual battle, and a mind control battle. This is a slave planet. No matter how much you like it and think it's cool, it is a slave planet. We are here to serve a higher purpose, and there's two sources. There's the so-called dark forces that are, well, there's a lot of them now, and what's happening currently in the modern world is there's quite a few dark forces that are trying to overlay and keep us under control, and also so they can have our resources for this planet, and that's a whole other subject matter. But the point is, we're under two forces here all the time. In order to stay alive at this point and sane and have a healthy life, it behooves you to reconnect to your roots. If you happen to be somebody that knows your background, most people have, I think, some at least a third generation or fourth generation they can trace back. For instance, if you're a person who's a European descent, try to trace back if you can. The point is to reconnect to your spiritual bloodline, and not just pray and meditate, but actually get back your power. All the power was stripped from all the indigenous people. Every single indigenous tribe on this planet was deliberately either massacred, murdered, or shut up with other overlays of other religions. So you've got to either find these people, find the culture, dig in and do your research, or if you're just simply too busy to do all that, certainly people on YouTube can support you and help you do a little background on yourself. The ultimate job of every human being is to release other human beings from this slave planet. That's ultimately what Serve Mankind is about. It used to be just help them, but now it's actually releasing them, and it's a spiritual release. So we, in this community of consciousness, which I am part of, or the people who are awakened to do this job we came here to do, the volunteers, we only have one mission. That's all we've ever wanted. We're not really happy-go-lucky as we appear. We try to remain positive, but we also stay very connected to Source. That's why we kind of have more of an upbeat personality, and we work at it. There are people who think, well, they're just like meditate a lot, so they're happy. But happiness, part of happiness, which is an emotion, of course, comes from continuing our knowledge and our giving and our receiving, because it's really, really rough right now into the 2000s, since 1999. The most important thing is to trace back either to your indigenous roots, to your religious roots, find the magic that was the original power. Those chants and those old Sumerian or Buddhist prayers or philosophies, or even shamanic or old tribal ways, excluding cutting hearts out and throwing heads down in the Mayan tradition, those are the dark arts. But the ones that are on the more earthly-based ones, the ones that are the ones that the healers, the medicine men, all those are power. That's real power. And really good example of that, if you want to say, well, what's good? You know, all the natives are sitting there drinking. If you really want to go down that cynical road, may I remind you of what happened with this rock, this recent tribal win, which I understand right now is going to bounce back and forth with the new administration. But the point is, they basically prayed their way to stopping the pipeline. It was a spiritual battle. They tried to make it physical, violent battle. But they clearly use their spiritual power. Do you get that? So, just like Gandhi, same principle, the Gandhi. And then you can't always go to a default of, well, look where they are now, or look what happened. It's just a continual battle. It's a spiritual battle. This is a slave planet. No two ways about it. I think that most people will agree, as much as they can have fun here, it is enslaved. Financially, for sure, economically, medically. If you ask anybody in at least North America how many subscriptions they're on a daily basis, I believe it's up to something like between 8 and 12 subscriptions or RX over-the-counter that people are taking. We weren't born to be hooked up to drugs. Children aren't born from the flesh to come out and take man-made white medicine. And by the way, I may look very dark and whatever right now, but I'm white. I'm a white girl, basically, as far as I know. So I'm not anti-white because I am white, or whatever white means. And the point is that we need to stop listening to this dialogue, this repetitive lie, because it's a continual brainwash lie, and it's so ingrained in this. The frequencies are being broadcast at night mainly, but also in the day. If you watch television, which is fine and dandy, you can do what you want, or even movies or television shows on YouTube or on another format. There are frequencies being blasted, and that's well proven since the 50s. But that's a whole other subject matter. I'm sticking to today's subject matter, which is reconnection to power. Power is people think power is money. In that case, the Native Americans at that rock, where they were battling, I think it's South Dakota. Sorry, I got it off the top of my head. The recent one. They would have lost. They didn't have any money. There was no money there. There was no lawyer. I mean, eventually their lawyer creeped over and kind of said her two pieces. But they fought with spirit. They fought with sticks and stones in their spirit. The spirit world is the ultimate world. Okay, this world, if you really want to really see what it's going on, the best example is virtual reality games. If you go into virtual reality games and you go into the building of one, if you go just do a little building, like just a little bit, not coding, but just the simple format, even I can do it, anybody can do it. You'll see how there's grid layers of the way that they develop, and there's this gridding pattern, and then there's an overlay. This is a good example of the fact that we're in some kind of virtual 3D, some kind of a box. And once you stick your head out the box and look around and get outside that box, there's other dimensions. You can choose to live in this dimension, which is similar to an ant living in an ant farm, and that's fine. And a lot of people like it. I'm not criticizing you if you're enjoying yourself. Hallelujah. But look, by the looks of it, I'd have to say most of the world's pretty unhappy. I would say even traveling, people are fairly miserable. And why wouldn't they be? They are, without getting into a long speech about that, when the people who are the happiest are trying to release you, when the people that are living from their hearts and their souls are trying to release you, that's not a joke. That's not something they're doing because they're crazy or they're out of touch. Those are people who are saying there's another way. You know, you don't have to be miserable. There's another way of peace in the middle of this chaos. So I remind you to research your roots, to go back and find the original magic that your either religion or your consciousness will call upon you. And also, don't be afraid to change directions. Because if you're a Christian, there's no reason you can't call upon a shamanic healer. I mean, tons of Christians. I mean, 99% of the people who call me on my psychic business are Christian, Judeo, and Muslims. I get them all. So that's mainstream. That's mainstream world. That's the world. There's only so many religions, and they all call me. So reach out if you're a Christian person, Jewish person, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever. Reach out and find out what's behind the curtain of your own beliefs. Do some digging. You don't have to fall into lineups of fall all the dogma and everything like that. That is man-made. That's the grid. This is the box. Stay in the box and God will love you. That's really, oh boy, that's just so enslaving, because anything that is a spirit doesn't have a box. So don't follow a box, a tube, a TV, or any other doctrine or even books. Read, gather the knowledge, and then go within. So go within all the time. So read your knowledge, but then go within. You are connected 24 hours a day, 25 hours a day to a light. There's a light that's always attached. That is the soul, okay? There's no disconnect. You're always attached. All you have to do is go back inside. You don't have to see colors, and it doesn't have to be all psychedelic. You don't even have to feel happy. You just got to retune. And there's tons of people, including myself, if you need help, that can help you retune up to that energy. But you've got to do it yourself. I mean, if you wake up and you just blast down that coffee, and I get it, coffee drinker, well, caffeine drinker, and blast out the door and you don't reconnect, you're going to end up starting your day out from the grid. And your whole day will go according to what the powers that be, the dark forces, lay out for you. It's a default program. So make sure you just reconnect and reconnect. You don't have to sit for 4 hours. Take 2 minutes, 2 Earth minutes to get back in line up with yourself. And just remind yourself, I'm in a virtual reality game. I'm in a video game called life. Make sure that when you go out, you know you guys all played video games. Everybody under, 40, grew up with these really cool video games. Well, why aren't you using those in real life? Why? You go to a video game and you go collect your little prizes, right? You go get your, I don't know what they are, little diamonds or little pouches or your weapons. Why don't you do that in real life? That's what they're trying to show you. That's what the good people who really are in that world, because we're all working, we're all doing our own things, lots of people in virtual reality gaming that are awake, they're showing you. You can do this in real life. This object, I didn't buy it. I willed it into my life. I didn't seduce somebody to get it. I didn't sleep with somebody to get it. I didn't trade somebody to get it. I willed it. I asked for it, and it was given to me. And it is not a $10 flute, okay? There's no value on this. This is deer hide, and there go the vegetarians after me, but this is from Native American, deer hide, blessed, and blah, blah, blah. And I think this is cedar. I don't know. It's a beautiful redwood, and it's handmade. There's no how can you put a value on that? I guess somebody could say it's worth $200. I don't know. But it stayed with me, and I appreciate you coming here, and I'm not Native American, but I really relate to them, and they relate to me, and there's a connection there. So we're all made up of this DNA, all this DNA inside of us. We're a combination of all indigenous, earthly, and extraterrestrial, if you want to call them that, beings. We're not from this planet. We're planted. So dig in. Find something that turns you on. If you want to change religions, do it. Don't be scared.